This both fits in with the broad kind of confidence-boosting messaging that we've had this week, but also the idea that private enterprises might be back in favour again.
Well, they need the private sector, obviously. I mean, this before the scuppering of the Ant IPO in October of 2020, these platform companies like Alibaba, like Tencent, were a big employer, and they contributed quite a bit to China's, new main pillar of consumption and the like. So the private sector has taken quite a battering, whether it is the platform economy, the property sector, online gaming, online education, all under regulatory pressure. So building back that confidence is key. Now, can they just talk it up, or do they need to throw stimulus at the problem? And that's one of the reasons why the market reaction has been a little bit muted, even though there has been a pop-up in the platform economy like Alibaba since they kind of finished the rectification process. The government finally gave the final bill, if you will, of a fine of $1 billion to Alibaba and signaled that the crackdown was over. But again, getting that confidence back up is key. Now we're following last week, we had the Premier Li Qiang having a face-to-face meeting, we were hearing from sources, with a lot of these tech companies to kind of convey their support to them. We had the National Development and Reform Commission, the top planning body, also last week, talk up the platform economy. Now we're getting a joint statement late yesterday from the Central Committee, the 200-plus members of the top party officials, as well as the top government body, which is the State Council. So you have the party and the government, two main bodies, issuing a statement talking up the private sector and saying, yes, we're going to go forward and treat private sector companies equally to state-owned enterprises. And anyone who knows the Chinese economy, let's face it, SOEs get preferential treatment on a lot of areas, including preferential bank lending and rates and the like. So treating the private sector equally, if it comes to fruition and they back it up with action, that will be something significant. But again, it's getting that confidence back in the private sector. And the big question is, will it work without a big bang stimulus or targeted measures? Similarly, keep in mind, the Politburo in December made a very similar pledge. December was different than today, but they made a pledge back in December to ensure private enterprises were treated better. But what has the economy done since then? It had a pop-up after the end of COVID-0 policy, but then it is kind of petered out, and quarter-over-quarter growth was less than 1% in those data numbers that we got on Monday. We have the charts you can show, and that really tells you where the confidence is. They need to find areas to grow. The private sector is a big part of the Chinese economy. They're just not spending or investing like they used to.